in England at the moment.
Through the roof, I suppose.
This car is
Land Rover production has stopped, and the factory is now rebuilding Series 1 Land Rovers and selling them for £140,000.
And the Queen can still strip one of these down and get it going again.
I've heard that story.
Because she was in the Land Rover.
This car's got a bit of interesting history. This is a Australian new Series 1 Land Rover, 1958. I bought it locally off a patient of mine. But its history is that it also came in a crate, and I have a heritage certificate for that. You can easily get them online from England by quoting your numbers, and all they could say is yes, it left in a crate, and it had that chassis number, and they can't quote the engine number because the engine number ends up coming out of that crate, and so in Australia an engine will be matched to a chassis, so we could just say the chassis left on the ship and at what time, and it was sent to Sydney. It was assembled in Sydney and sold new to its one owner through a dealer in Brisbane, and somewhere under the bonnet is his plate, and it went out somewhere way out in central Queensland, the Grazier. I think a name that starts with D, but it's not Dubbo, it's something else.
You're in Mandy, probably.
And it was found. The picture of its restoration is up there. It's not my photo, that came with the car. It was found in 2010, I think, abandoned under a tree by a chap from Maryborough, who brought it back and restored it in his backyard. He did a lot of the work. He got some other bit of it subcontracted out, but he did, everything was done, and it just runs as I would imagine a new Land Rover would. I've had two or three of them back in New Zealand as a country doctor, and they were heaps of rubbish compared to this. But you know, me and my kids grew up in them, and we went up the mountains and hauled rocks and took the dog to the pond and all those good things that people do in old Land Rovers. So I've got a real sentimental attachment to them. But this is a nice tight one, and I've just done cosmetic tidying. There were things I didn't like. The bloke's idea of keeping it original was in fact to put new two-pack paint over top of all the dints and ribbles. And these have got an aluminium body, so they dint very easily and get creases in them, which are very hard to get out because the aluminium stretches. But I still like straight panels. A friend of mine in the church is an ex-panel beater, and I twisted his arm to work on it for me, and so he repainted it and panel beated it back to something that's original. It's not perfect glass panels, but at least they're not creased anymore. So I'm really happy with it, and we put a new soft top on it. I sold off the hard top it came with, which wasn't original but was an option, because I kind of liked the Australian look of the hard top, although it's English. Again, I bought this possibly to sell back to the UK, but I haven't yet.
It's like glue tap, you can't let go.
I kind of got to like it, and I say to Carol, she says, when are you going to sell that, pay off the mortgage? And I said, well, maybe the price will go high. I'll just hang on and play with it for a bit longer.
We take it up to Bunny's though and grab some, cane hay and stuff in it and take it for a lift.
It's a truck, isn't it?
Every now and then, so beautiful.
I can't remember now how to start.
Choke under the dash, and then the press button under the dash. On the firewall.
Is that the choke? Yeah.
There's a starter that you press. I didn't bolt them down deliberately because I needed time to sort out where everything goes and massage it around the shed. Because when I first put these ones in, I logically put them symmetrically in front of the doors, out from there with enough room to leave the ramps on, and then found that they came right up to go here, and there was only a skinny space for a bike, and I was collecting cars, so I gradually massaged them out and pushed them right back until they were within about an inch of the back door with the ramps off.
No, don't worry about it.
I can fit another one in the middle. This one is higher than the other two, so I can leave the ramps on it and then no one takes the scalp off. Up on here are two that we brought from New Zealand, two of the four. The 60 Thunderbird, the blue one, and the 67 Alpha Romeo. I'll just leave them sitting there, we won't shift these ones out. The Thunderbird is one, we've had it 8 years, I just fell in love with it. It had wire wheels on it at the time, which proved untrustworthy, they broke, so I put it on the mags to make it look a little bit more like a modern hot rod. But I'm only the third owner of this car. It had one Australian owner, was brought into New Zealand and repainted the original blue and white with the new interior kit. The motor was reconditioned. It was a beautiful restoration, which I have the full photographic record of. And it's just like a new car under the bonnet. We're actually ready to move this on. I'm probably going to sell this. It needs a bit of cosmetic restitching in places, with my big heavy butt sort of torn some of the upholstery. One of the things I came to love about it, which you'll see, is it's got what's called a Continental kit on the back, which is a vertical spare wheel, but it's all cartoon painted up with a picture of Sylvester and Tweety Bird saying, I really just love this bird. And that kind of appealed. But it's an American cruiser. It's not a muscle car. It's got a 351 V8 with a 352. Yeah? 351 is it?
Big enough in the boot to camp in?
Yeah, huge boot. With power steering, power brakes, ice cold aircon. It's a lovely cruising car for Queensland weather, if you don't mind. Poor fuel economy, because there's nothing fuel efficient about this car from the 60s. So I'm taking it out less and less. Carol loves to drive it probably more than I do now. But I think we reached the point now we'll probably flip this and take it off the mortgage and bring my retirement a year closer. It's a pig of a one to start. It's one of the things that I haven't got Ben to work on yet, because they have an automatic choke, but for some reason it's not getting the fuel through, so you've got to really pump about 50 times and squirt a bit of start your bastard down the air cleaner, and then she fires up, but by then it's got no choke. And you've got to sort of fiddle and fart with it for a while, and then it coughs out and Carol tut-tuts, and it's easy to leave here.
It's not quite like that, but it is absolutely beautiful to take for a
On
drive.
your car, you can order like 4100.
Lewis went over and he got his eyes stuck on it, and I thought, why is he looking at that? Anyway, he never come away for about a half an hour, and then he came away, and then he went back, and then I saw him under it and around it and over it, and I thought, oh, here we go. And I kept saying around him, he's going to buy that, I just know he is. He's going to buy that, I just know he is. This car, mate, she said, and the bloke said, oh yeah, I'm looking at selling it. And Lewis said, excuse me, I'm talking to this bloke first. Anyway, she said, here's my card, mate, I've got two. So she said, I want this one as well, ring me. So anyway, he had a price on it, didn't he, Lewis? About what he thought he wanted for it.
You found out what his price was.
And I said to him, so what's your absolute bottom line that you would sell this car for?
Unlock it, kid.
And he said, 8.5. I said, done.
No, 8.
8, that's right. I said, done, and shook his hand. That's it. So it was
She is alright.
So what's your big fat like?